To gain familiarity with basic web technologies like HTML, CSS, XML, REST, and JSON, you'll need to understand their purpose, structure, and use in web development and automation testing. Below is a detailed breakdown of these technologies and how they fit into testing environments, particularly for someone involved in test automation and data verification. 1. HTML, Hypertext Markup Language. HTML is the standard language for creating web pages and web applications. It structures web content using elements that define headings, paragraphs, links, images, forms, etc. Key concepts in HTML, elements and tags. HTML documents consist of elements, which are defined by tags. Example, HTML H1, this is a heading /H1 TP, this is a paragraph. /P, attributes. Tags can have attributes to provide additional information. Example, HTML, a ref equals https://example.com, visit example/forms. HTML forms collect user input. Example, HTML form action equals /submit, method equals post, input type equals text name equals username / input type equals submit value equals submit / form, semantic HTML. Tags like header, footer, section, and article improve accessibility and SEO. Relevance in testing. In test automation, e.g., Selenium, identifying HTML elements is essential for interacting with web pages. HTML structure helps you write effective test cases for UI components. XPath and CSS selectors are used to locate elements in the DOM. Testing HTML. Verify the presence of specific tags and attributes. Ensure that forms and interactive elements work as expected. Validate the accessibility and SEO friendliness of the HTML structure. 2. CSS Cascading Style Sheets. CSS is used to control the presentation, layout, and styling of HTML elements on a web page. While HTML provides the structure, CSS gives visual appeal. Key concepts in CSS. Selectors. Define which elements the styles apply to. Example, CSS color, blue. Classes and IDs. Provide specific styles to elements. Example, HTML p class equals intro. This is an introduction. /PSS intro font size, 18px. Box model. Describes the space taken up by an element, including padding, borders, and margins. Example, CSS div padding, 10px, margin, 5px, border, 1px solid black. Responsive design. Media queries help make web pages mobile friendly. Example, CSS at media screen and max width, 600px. Body's background color, light blue. Relevance in testing. Test automation tools, e.g., Selenium, use CSS selectors to locate elements. In visual testing, verifying that elements are styled correctly is important. Responsive testing ensures that the layout adapts to different screen sizes. Testing CSS. Verify that styles are applied correctly to elements. Ensure that elements are responsive and adapt to various screen resolutions. Validate that the CSS doesn't break page layout across browsers. 3. XML, Extensible Markup Language. XML is a markup language designed to store and transport data. It is both human-readable and machine-readable, widely used in configurations and data interchange. Key concepts in XML, tags and elements. XML uses tags to define data. Example, XML employee, John Doe /name, position manager, /position, /employee, attributes. Provide additional metadata to elements. Example, XML employee ID equals 1001, John Doe /name, /employee, hierarchical structure. XML documents are structured in a tree-like format. Example, XML employees, employee ID equals 1001, /name, employee ID equals 1002, /name, employee. Well-formed XML. XML must have properly nested tags, and every tag must have a closing tag. Relevance in testing, API testing. Many web services, SOAP-based, use XML for data exchange. Configuration files. Test automation frameworks, e.g. TestNG, Maven, use XML files for configuration. Testing XML. Verify that the XML is well-formed, all tags properly closed and nested. Test the integrity of data exchanged between systems using XML. Validate schema definitions with XSD. XML schema definition. 4. REST, Representational State Transfer. REST is an architectural style for building APIs that use HTTP requests to perform CRUD operations. RESTful APIs are stateless, and resources are represented by URLs. Key concepts in REST, HTTP methods. Define the type of operation. Get, retrieve data. Post, create new resources. Put/patch, update existing resources. Delete, remove resources. Example, HTTP get/API/employees HTTP/1.1 host. Example.com statelessness. Each API call is independent and doesn't rely on previous calls. URI, Uniform Resource Identifier, uniquely identifies resources. Example, HTTP get/API/employees/1001 HTTP/1.1 status codes. Indicate the result of the operation. 200 OK. Request succeeded. 201 created. Resource was successfully created. 404 not found. Resource not found. 500 internal server error. Server encountered an error. Relevance in testing, API testing. REST APIs are often tested using tools like Postman, JMeter, or automated with libraries like Rest Assured. Data verification. You can verify that API responses return the correct data and match the expected formats, e.g., JSON, XML. Testing REST APIs. Test API requests for each HTTP method: get, post, put, delete. Verify that responses return the correct status codes. Ensure data integrity in API responses, e.g., correct structure, valid values. 5. JSON JavaScript Object Notation. JSON is a lightweight data interchange format that is easy for humans to read and machines to parse. It's commonly used for sending data in web applications, especially in RESTful APIs. Key concepts in JSON: objects, represented as key-value pairs. Example: JSON, name, John Doe, age, 30, department, HR. Arrays, store multiple values in a single key. Example: JSON, employees, name, John Doe, age, 30, name, Jane Doe, age, 25. Data types. JSON supports strings, numbers, arrays, booleans, and null values. Example: JSON, name, John Doe, age, 30, is manager, false, department, null. Relevance in testing, API testing. REST APIs often send and receive data in JSON format. Data validation. JSON is used in modern web applications to store configuration data, responses from APIs, and more. Testing JSON. Verify that JSON responses have valid structure and correct data types. Test the accuracy of API responses by comparing them to expected JSON structures. Validate large datasets, arrays, and nested objects in JSON responses. Tools for testing web technologies: Selenium, for testing HTML and CSS elements in web applications. Postman, for testing REST APIs. JSON/XML. JMeter, for performance testing of APIs in web applications. Fiddler, for capturing and analyzing HTTP requests and responses. Swagger, for REST API testing and documentation. JSON and Lint, for validating JSON structure. Conclusion: familiarity with HTML, CSS, XML, REST, and JSON is essential for any web developer, test automation engineer, or data tester. These technologies form the foundation for creating, interacting with, and testing modern web applications and services. Understanding these concepts will allow you to verify web page structure, test API endpoints, ensure proper data formatting, and maintain data integrity during testing processes.